Now, we begin with new revelations surrounding the illegal immigrant deported to El Salvador. Democrats have been painting Kilmar Abrego Garcia as, quote, an innocent Maryland dad. But the Justice Department released documents yesterday, including a 2019 police report that they say confirm Garcia's MS-13 ties. And Fox News obtained written domestic violence allegations filed in court by his wife, handwritten by her in 2021. But Democratic Senator Chris Van Hollen flew to El Salvador on a mission to bring Garcia back to the U.S.
The goal of my visit is to talk to people here about the release of Kilmar Abrego Garcia. I told his wife and his family I would do everything possible to bring him home, and we're going to keep working at this until we're successful.
Rachel Morin's mother slammed the Maryland senator for the trip during emotional remarks at the White House yesterday.
Why are we not protecting our children? And to have a senator from Maryland who didn't even acknowledge or barely acknowledged my daughter and the brutal death that she endured, leaving her 5 children without a mother and now a grandbaby without a grandmother, so that he can use my taxpayer money to fly to El Salvador to bring back someone that's not even an American citizen. Why does that person have more right than I do, or my daughter, or my grandchildren? I don't understand this.
Shannon, millions of Americans don't understand it either, including the Maryland senator's constituents, who many say, why aren't you representing and advocating more for the victim, the Maryland victim, rather than the Maryland person?
And there's no one who's going to be more powerful and advocate on this than the mother. And there are actually 2 mothers now of Maryland women who were raped and killed by people who were in this country illegally. Those men have been convicted. There's no question about that. So I think for some people, they hear this, okay, Abrego Garcia is separated from his wife, from his children, and people will say, well, these women are forever separated from their loved ones. He's not accused of anything. He's not been charged or convicted of any crime. But I think the juxtaposition of the advocacy by Senator Van Hollen is raising a lot of questions. And people say, including these mothers, where were you when my child was a victim of somebody here illegally? And I didn't hear from you. So why are you now spending this money and this time advocating on the other side of this issue?
And Lisa, I want to talk to you about strategy, because many question this from the obvious emotional and moral standpoint that Shannon just articulated. But there are plenty in the party, in the Democrat Party, including James Carville, who many consider the strategic leader, who have said that needs to be a, quote, top agenda, is bringing back this person rather than advocating. And as he said, I thought it was so interesting because his quote was, well, should we really fight on this turf, or should we fight more on ordinary people? The argument being that this guy's an ordinary person, but to Shannon's point, the ordinary people are the Americans being destroyed by many illegal immigrants under this concept.
Well, I think that this shows us if the Democrats' distorted worldview, where somehow criminals are victims and victims are criminals. And you listen to what this mother said, you know, why does that person have more rights than I do, my daughter or my grandchildren? I don't understand this. That's a question we all asked ourselves for 4 years under the Biden administration, as they allowed millions of illegal aliens to enter into this country, terrorists, gangbangers, criminals. And you look at all of this yesterday, particularly with some of this additional information being exposed, as Senator Van Hollen goes to El Salvador to rescue an El Salvadoran from his home country, to bring him back to the United States, an illegal alien who judges believed that he was a possible
taxpayer dollars.
But yeah, who judges believed that he might be an MS-13 member. The Prince George's County Police Department believed that as well. So this is the person you go to rescue? And so I just think it all. And then also the Trump administration blasted MSNBC and CNN for not covering this mother's remarks. So I don't understand their worldview where, you know, someone like Jacob Blake or this guy, that they're heroes, and they don't stand up for the American citizens, particularly the ones killed. at the hands of the people that they're advocating for.
Perfect segue, Lisa, because I wanted to talk to you about the media coverage. So not only taking Rachel Morin's mother's comments, but also the perseveration on this individual as being somehow the sort of lodestar of the party and of the values when it represents such a backwards look to so many Americans.
You know, I saw people saying that in the media, and then I saw James Carville saying it. This is the future of your party. This is what you want to advocate for. I want to mention a press release that came out from the White House yesterday. It's fascinating. They came up with a list of people who had been arrested by ICE, who were illegal immigrants and were charged. What were they charged of? Half of the folks that they mentioned, and I'm not doing the entire list because it's really pretty long. They were arrested for trafficking, abuse, and solicitation. Trafficking, abuse, and solicitation. These are crimes against women. Do you remember when the Democratic Party was trying to help women, was in favor of helping women overcome barriers and dangers and crime? Not anymore.
That's a great point.
Doctor, your thoughts?
I think it's purely a politicization, and I think Lisa was saying it best. I think right now the Democrat Party has gotten behind supporting people that are, for starters, here illegally. As a physician, I'm deeply disturbed by the report you showed at the beginning of potential domestic abuse that according to the Times of India and other sources, that his wife was putting in complaints to the Maryland court in 2021 of her being brutally assaulted. But you know what, Emily? Even that doesn't need to be a criteria to have someone who enters the country illegally return to their country where they came from. Why does that have to be justified? And how could this possibly be a winning issue for the Democrats when the American people agree with what I just said?
Yeah, to your point, many questioning, why does Senator Chris Van Hollen care more about Abrego Garcia than he does about Rachel Morin and his own constituents? But I think that question will be answered certainly the next time voters vote there in Maryland. Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.